Welcome to Communing with Divine, a podcast where I share my spiritual quest and the lessons and the insights that I've received from many divine beings and energies during meditation. I am your host, Meraki. Now, let's begin. Welcome to Communing with Divine, and thank you for joining me again. This is episode 29. There will be 30 episodes in this series, and then we'll begin series 2, which is about liminal spaces, and it's very, very different than this season has been. I will go into a few more details at the end of the next episode, episode 30, about season 2. So you can make a determination if you want to continue to listen to me and to listen to what I have to share with you or not, because it's very different. Okay, so let's begin. May 6th, 2023. I'm driving to see a friend who lives about an hour or so away. It's an incredible day today. The sky is a vibrant blue with white clouds floating through it. Because of the way my windshield is, I can see huge swaths of the sky as I drive. The clouds look magnificently unreal, if you know what I mean. Like both breathtakingly beautiful and dramatic while also not looking as if they are real at all. For some reason, when I thought this, it made me laugh. The beauty of the skies filled me with joy, and their fake appearance made me laugh. I was both observing the sublime and the ridiculous. So I sort of said out loud to Divine, whoever created this did an amazing job. It's all so beautiful. And if we don't pay attention, if we don't look too closely, it all looks so real. Most of the time I don't notice. I forget because it all looks and feels so real. But occasionally I'll perceive it differently. And in those moments, I know it's not. Divine asks me, what is real? Well, I don't know. That's a really good question. I'm going to have to think about that. I think that what is real is what I feel when I'm with all of you, when I'm consciously connecting with you. That's real. And it's what I feel when I hold my children, what we call love, that feeling. That's real. But what is real? What is true reality? It's hard to describe. It's hard to describe because I think that it's a state of being. It's not a place of being. And this physical world is a place of being, not so much a state of being. I think that what I experience when I connect with all of you or when I hold my children is just a fraction of the true state of being that exists within the all. But right now, restricted within this body, in this program, with all of its restrictions and limitations, I think unconditional love and its related feelings like sympathy, empathy, compassion, all of these things are probably the closest thing that I can point to of what is real here. I guess the best way that I can describe what I'm feeling is to say that love is a quiet reflection of the true state of being that we experience within the all. Divine replies, yes, in truth, this is all that is. In truth, this is the what is. For the all cannot be destroyed. It always has been, it is now, and always shall be. They're explaining. They're saying that what we experience here in the physical form as the sensation of love is an echo of an energy that is a part of the all, and it cannot be destroyed. We believe that we're separated from the all, but we're not, because we can't truly be separated from something that we are a part of, but we perceive this separation and this reality as a part of the experience. When we come together with empathy and kindness, when we connect with others as our true selves, our energies intersect and connect. This is a remembering of true reality. And when this happens, we experience a sensation within our physical bodies. This sensation or feeling is what we call unconditional love. Now, they're showing me what happens when we are around energy that's discordant, angry and aggressive, jealous or fearful. What I think I'm understanding is that the reason we feel sadness, isolation, or any form of fear in the presence of this type of energy is that it emphasizes and amplifies our perception of being separated from the all even more, because fear energy is unknown within the all. So I'm seeing two people. One is very angry and is not honoring their true self, their soul energy. They have filled themselves with a huge thick wall of discordant energy that envelops and mutes their true vibration. They also emit and expel this energy to surround those who are near them or those who become a target of theirs. And this serves to amplify the illusion of distance and isolation that we already perceive between ourselves and the all. Divine is explaining that it's important for us to understand that this discordant energy is both illusory and transitory. They are emphasizing that if we can remember this when we are confronted with a discordant, fear-based person, situation, or energy, then we can hold on to our power that comes from our true self. Because our true power is that we are the all. And so our true selves, our souls, cannot be separated. Nothing can cause us to be separated from the all in truth. It can't happen because we are one, now and forever. And if we can remember that and not go into fear or believe the illusion of separation, we can remain true to our vibration and the knowledge of truth that we hold within us. And other people's discordance or dissonance will have little to no effect, at least on us. June 16th, 2023. I just had an amazing distant healing session. And as this healer was working on me, I found myself surrounded by many, many beings. And they were all beaming energy at me. And they were also projecting or creating layers or orbs of light around me. This seemed to go on for quite some time. And then I was asked if I was ready to walk my new path now and leave my old path behind, and I said yes. The Watcher and Mother Universe were there, as well as all of those who walk with me and who teach me. After I responded, I found myself in an area that was not a path. There wasn't a lot of light in this area either. From this area, I stepped onto a path that began from there, and that was just bathed in golden light. Everyone walked with me. They walked on either side of me, escorting me, I guess, to wherever this path led. We walked for a while in silence. And at the end of this path, I could see that there were golden steps that led up to a type of golden altar. It reminded me a bit of the descriptions and drawings of the Ark of the Covenant, but it didn't have cherubs or anything raised on the top of it. The top was flat. The golden steps and the altar had images and markings on them, but I couldn't tell you what they are now, just that I noticed them as I reached the step. Now, somehow I knew what I was supposed to do. I climbed the steps and I laid down on this golden altar. And once I laid down, I was imbued and surrounded by golden light that was then joined and mixed with the energies of all of those who had walked with me. I laid there like that for some time, and then I heard someone speak. Do you trust in us? I do. Do you trust in divine? I do. Do you trust in the universe? I do. Do you fear? I have no fear. I am filled with trust. And as soon as I said that, I began to sink down into this golden altar. And as I sunk into this golden altar, I was submerged into complete darkness. I was enveloped by the void, and I was not afraid. And as I laid submerged within the complete darkness of the void, all of the beings and the energies who work with me reached out to help me to remove the I, quote unquote, within my thinking, to address my false sense of separateness so that I could merge with the void. But my brain was getting in the way. And the more I would try to release the I, the more resistance rose up within me. And the more my mind tried to control the situation and the process, my mind tried to cover its interference by flooding me with thoughts that appeared to be helpful. Things like, I now merge with the void, or I now release myself into the void, with the concept of separateness embedded within each statement. My mind was working against me merging as the terminology it was using reinforced my sense of separation. All of these amazing beings kept gently pointing this out to me, but it was to no avail. I could not drop the illusion of separateness. Finally, the void came into my brain space because my brain was the one that was causing these problems, and my brain space was filled with a void. And as soon as this happened, the voice in my brain went silent. And for a fleeting moment, I lost myself and merged with the void. And then, nothing. I remember nothing more. I only remember opening my eyes, feeling groggy and a little dazed. I was also thirsty and extremely hungry. I got up as I tried to assimilate this experience, as fleeting as it was. I made my way down to the kitchen to eat, and then continued on with my day, trying to function in an oddly dense and restrictive reality, and trying to process what had just happened in that flash. June 20th, 2023. I woke up at about 4 a.m. and I couldn't get back to sleep, so I decided to listen to the crystal bowls being played. I was just laying in my bed listening to the bowls and trying to get back to sleep when I suddenly found myself sitting within my universe. And no sooner had I found myself there, my universe shifted and became a quasar. And I was being drawn towards this much bigger source of light, which really looked like a much bigger quasar to me, along with all the other parts of this dimensional reality. We were all merging with this large source of light. And then I could see that this massive source of light that we were being drawn into was also being drawn into an even larger source of light. And that larger source was in turn being drawn into an even larger source again. It was really incredible to see this. And as I was observing all of this merging of light, I could hear the question, do you fear the loss of your individual consciousness? And so I replied, no, that doesn't cause me fear, but I am curious to learn more from this perspective. It bothers me that I haven't learned to access the all that lies within me while experiencing a consciousness of separation from this illusory point of view. I know that I already have all the answers within me and that I have not become aware of them. I have not learned to access them. But I would like to have achieved this while still possessing the illusion of a separate consciousness. So it's not fear, it's curiosity. It was then explained to me that what we call the divine, God, the source, choose your word, also has questions that comes from being a separate consciousness, because our source is also learning as a separate conscious energy, because it was created by something greater and more ancient than itself. And that creator was also born from another. It's strange to think about it this way because we believe that what is divine is the final place, the ultimate energy, that it has all of the answers, but it doesn't. It is learning too. Only the all understands all that is. And we are just all conscious parts of this greater whole. So I said, I have a question. There's something that confuses me. I don't understand how on the one hand we're told to just be, quote unquote, right? But on the other hand, we're urged to ask questions and seek answers. Asking questions and seeking seems contradictory to being told to just be. The answer that came was, it is the light that wishes to learn. It is the light that seeks. What was then explained to me was that the light was given a separate consciousness by the all because it wished to learn. And this pattern of creating separate consciousnesses repeats all the way down to us. And even we were given the power to create individual consciousness. We just don't think about bringing life into the world in that way. We think of the life we have created, but not of the individual consciousness that we have given life to. And a hallmark of individual consciousness is that it seeks to understand. It seeks to know, to learn, to explore, to experience, and to create. It is the void that urges us to just be. It is the void that urges us to merge and to realize the illusion of individual consciousness, to just exist. And once this occurs, there is no more need or desire to seek. So it's not that the advice was contradictory, it's that the advice is coming from two separate places. One is from the light that seems to have a consciousness of separateness that limits its knowledge and so causes it to seek, to go on quests in order to learn through its creations and through the experiences that its creations have. And the other is the void. It is the darkness that just exists. It just is and has no need to seek, because it is within the void that we become one, and from there merge with the all. Or so I understand so far at this point. June 22nd, 2023. I'm looking at the ether individually today because I want to observe its beautiful darkness. It's a darkness of peace and of healing, of contemplation. It's really beautiful. You want to just sink into it, knowing that it'll rejuvenate you. Both the light and the darkness rejuvenate us, but they have different properties and effects. The ether says, know this, all that is created begins within the void. All energies, dimensions, realities, and beings come into creation through the void. Do not be afraid to go within the darkness, within the peace. For within the darkness you will find the oneness of the void. The void is where individuality fades away. I am the ether. I am a child of the void. I am the aspect of the void that exists within your reality. And so much that is created in this reality is created within and through me. I am the womb of this reality, just as the void is the womb of the all. Be not afraid to enter into our darkness, for there is nothing to fear. In this reality, in this dimension, the balance of our darkness is the light, and you must know the light as well as you know us. You should not know one to the exclusion of the other. You must create a balance within yourself. Here, within this reality, the light also creates. The light is active, while the darkness is still. The light perceives both oneness and the illusion of separation, as does the darkness, for it is through it that this illusion came into being. Both the light and the darkness are essential for the existence that you experience here, and so you must know us both. Remember, the answers lie within, child. Remember this always, for if you remember this, you can never be lost. So what I'm understanding is that the void is more ancient than the ether, older, vaster, deeper, but they are of the same energy. The ether was born from the void. The void represents something beyond the beyond. The ether is a part of our reality here. What we call the source or God or the divine has its own identity, its own sense of separateness from the all, but it is more actively aware of the oneness and seems to have connections with it that elude most of us. So it's not exactly the same as for us because we really are limited. But there seems to be a pattern of creation where that which is created has a greater sense of the illusion of separateness and individuality than the energy or the consciousness that created it. Grandfather Void is more ancient than any of these creations. He is the before time. Grandfather Void is ancient beyond ancient, and without him, none of this would exist. I think that's what I've understood. June the 24th, 2023. Fear is an illusion made up by the mind. It's part of this program, although I wish it wasn't necessary. But it's what it allows that is important. It allows for the acceptance of the idea of separation from the divine, from the all, even though none exists. This is interesting, although I think there are many other things that we could feel besides fear to reinforce the illusion of separation, like something like sadness, which is a product of fear, but doesn't carry the full vibration of destruction that fear has. But fear is here, and fear is very potent. Unfortunately, fear is a very effective tool. Fear allows us to experience the separateness viscerally. It causes us to forget that separation is only an illusion, and fear erases our memories of the pathways we hold within ourselves that lead us back to being one. Separateness is an illusion. Fear is an illusion. Neither exist in truth. When I allow myself to step into fear, what am I actually afraid of? I'm not in a war-torn country fearing for my life or for the life of my loved ones. I'm not ill. None of my loved ones are ill. And yet I can feel fear as if my life was at risk, as if all that I am, my very existence, might cease at any moment. Why? In my circumstances, it certainly makes no sense. I'm not facing down a speeding train while being tied to the tracks. I'm not falling from the sky. I'm close to my loved ones, and they are safe, and they are healthy. I am blessed. I sit here in my home looking out at the sea and surrounded by a beautiful garden. So what am I afraid of? What I am afraid of is really just an illusion created by fear and by ego. This level of fear allows them to control me and to direct me. It allows them to distract me from the peace that exists within, from my connections with higher things, because it keeps me off balance. There is nothing for me to fear other than what? I won't get my way? I won't get something I want or that I hope for? Well, very often I don't, but I'm still here. And sometimes I do get my way. I do get the things I want and I hope for, and I'm still here. Am I afraid that my voice won't be heard, that I won't matter? Again, this is fear and ego. If people don't hear me or agree with what I say, will the world end? No. The only thing that will suffer is my ego, and it isn't real. Fear makes me think that approval from others and acceptance by them is paramount. But Divine once said to me, if no one sees who you are in truth, does this mean you are of no value? Well, no, of course not. And I trust the advice of Divine over that of fear and ego. There is a saying, don't cast pearls before swine. This is to say that even perfection won't be appreciated because some people are incapable of seeing it. If someone doesn't see the beauty in the perfection of a pearl, it doesn't make that pearl any less beautiful or any less of a miracle of nature. Pearls are a miracle created from a bit of sand. Each pearl is unique and perfect, each one beautiful, each one a miracle of creation. Just because the swine doesn't see these truths does not erase these truths. We are each like a pearl, perfect, unique, and beautiful. Divine once asked me, if you do something and no one recognizes it, does this negate what you have done? I answered no. Divine then asked, so why do you look outside of yourself? If no one hears your voice, does it mean you have no voice? No. If no one sees your soul shine, does it mean you have no soul? No. Look not externally for reassurance of who you are. Look within. Look within and know. Fear nothing, for there is nothing to fear in truth. Well, that's it for me for today. I want to thank you all so much for being with me. I hope you found it interesting, and I hope that you will join me for the last episode of this season, episode number 30. And in the meantime, have a great day.